Okay, so I think I'm live. Good evening, everyone. I'm very glad to be here today. Long time no see. I'm very sorry we didn't have our stream last week as I didn't feel well, but I really hope that this week was worth waiting and that today we're going to have very nice, exciting, interesting, fascinating conversation. So, today we're going to have, as usual, a special guest. His name is Kirill, and we used to study together here in Gatineau at school. And he moved to London like a long, long time ago. And I was thinking, and I realized how lucky I am. I have so many people I know around the world. And some of them I met while I was traveling. Some of them are my former classmates or somebody I met through work or whatever. And we still keep in touch, and I'm very happy about that. And they are very nice people, and I'm very grateful to all of them that they agreed to participate in this project we have now. Yes, Zoom the World. And I can and you can learn so much from these people, find out a lot of interesting information, a lot of amazing information about the places they live in, about the culture, about the people. And I'm really glad to have this opportunity to share this this information with you and to introduce my friends to you. Yeah, hopefully everything goes all right today, because today I'm streaming from home. I'm still at home, but I'm ready and I'm feeling strong to proceed this project today. So Kirill is already waiting in the waiting room of Zoom. So hello guys, and welcome Kirill.
Hello.
Hello there.
Are we online?
Yes, we are online, and people are already saying hi, hello there. Yes, so
hi everybody. How are you doing?
Well, we are, hopefully all of us are doing quite well today.
Nice. You're lucky ones, because we're in the lockdown. It's the first week, and I'm actually trying to make myself busy. And thanks to you, I will be happily spending my 1 hour at least of this day.
Well, that's great. We are happy to help.
That's true.
Yeah, well, and do you have like to stay at home all the time? So how is it
No,
going?
we're allowed to go outside for the physical activity. I did my physical activity today. I did my run in the park. So you can't, you can only leave your house to do some shopping, or if you can't work at home, you maybe would be allowed to get to work, but try to use all these precautions and social distancing measures and so on. So it's a very depressing atmosphere, because it's autumn and the weather is not that nice. It's pretty much like St. Petersburg, to be honest.
Okay.
At this particular time, yeah, and it's quite rainy, not that cold, but yeah, obviously when it was the first lockdown, it was summer, so people could go to the parks, meet each other, stay outside most of the day. Obviously, there was more sunshine. This time it's a bit different, but it's smaller, so it's 1 month. Hopefully, we'll get back in three weeks back to normal life.
Oh, you mentioned that the weather is practically like in St. Petersburg, but we've been lucky this year. So the fall has been like tremendously warm and sunny. Yes, so and I'm really enjoying it. So well, I had to stay at home last week, so but still, the previous weeks were fine and amazing, I would say. Yeah. Yeah, but that's a good thing that you still can go have a run. Yes, go into the park.
That's a really important part of the social life, because I mean, we will speak about it a bit later. People are really are concerned about mental condition that people have to stay inside, especially for the people's over 50s and so on. So they have to do something, and sport is a very vital part of
For
it.
sure.
And again, yeah, you're allowed to go outside. There are many gym stations outside at the moment. I see those gym instructors with the weights trying to give a lesson to other people. So they're lucky because they don't have to do that much. I mean, unfortunately, I have to stay at home because my activity has to be inside, which unfortunately we have to close. And yeah, just wait for the better time.
Yeah, well, we are all hoping for the better times to come.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the only thing we can do actually in this kind of situation.
Yeah.
Well,
There's a light in the end of the tunnel, as they're saying that the vaccine is coming, and they're already discussing on the TV shows that it's the Brits are actually developing their own one. So it's a double news. So it's good. Hopefully,
okay.
by the spring of next year, we will be fine traveling and participating in any activities we want.
Yes, not caring about all these viruses going around. Yes.
It's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, it is. So and just I want to hear from our viewers if we well, if you can hear us well and if you can see us well. So hopefully everything is fine. I mean, technically, yeah. So
Or maybe it's closer.
and it's fine. Yeah, very nice view from here. Okay. So, Kirill, I've mentioned to our viewers that you are my former classmate, yes, and you used to live in Gachina, so for quite a long period of your life, yes. But now now you've been living in London for how long?
Well, we moved here in 2013. I mean, we didn't really move for the permanent stay. We just have been luckily offered a position of a dance teacher in one of the biggest dance studios in London. And I said, oh, Valerie, I spoke to my wife, like, would you like to live a little bit in London? It's like, yeah, why not? So
Why
that
not?
was
Yeah.
the decision. And then, yeah, the longer we stayed here, then we decided, okay, there is no way back. We should try to keep and stay in London until, for the rest of our lives, really.
Well, not bad. Well, just a permanent stay in a nice place.
Yeah, it wasn't maybe the easiest 7 years of our lives because there are certain things you have to do. It cost me a lot of effort, time, and money. But thank God it's all done, and we're a citizen, and we have double citizenship, Russian and British. So we're happy to have and be able to travel to Russia and back, and it's good. It's good.
Yeah, definitely. Well, now you can't travel. Yeah, but when the borders are open, hopefully we could see you here. Just for
Yeah,
a
well,
visit.
one of the privileges of having a British passport is that many countries are open for you without the visa.
For
And
sure.
actually, yesterday we picked up our new Russian foreign passports.
Oh, wow,
So, yeah, so
congrats.
now we have a passport to 2030. So we're well sorted. Well sorted.
Great to hear that. Yes. So, and well, you've been living there for quite a while now. Yes. And like, what do you think is the best thing? Can you name any, like, the most amazing thing about living in London for you so far?
It's something like it's kind of a Europe. So all the borders were opened recently. Well, now they're in Brexit, so we don't know what's going to happen. So they're different positions right now. So the country of 2013 was a European country, and it's kind of a point where you can choose to go to America very easily, yeah, and you can still stay in Europe. So it's a multicultural, multinational country with very open-minded, very tolerant, and very welcoming. I would say, yeah, because of the history of this country, they actually welcome everybody, and they're very nice to everybody as long as you are behaving yourself with their own traditions,
Yeah, I
So
remember I had a chance to come to London. Well, I actually I've been there twice, but well, both of my trips were not so successful. Well, they were successful, but I came across some difficulties. Like once we went there with a group of students, it was quite a big group of students, and most of us went down with the flu or something, and so we had to balance between those who were all right and still keep the program going, and those who were sick, we had to take care of them. Well, at the end of the day, I got sick, and it was insane. So my impression of London was a bit, well, worse, I could say, yes, as well, comparing to if like nobody had this flu. But I'm still
You
hoping.
couldn't really enjoy it, did you?
Yeah. Well, but I still hope that when the borders are open, so my family and I will travel. Like it's one of the first destinations on our list to travel to.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, well, you will definitely enjoy it because at the moment, London is a ghost town. There are no tourists. It's empty, and
Mm,
yeah, it's we a couple of weeks ago went to the Great London, and it's really weird. It's really weird feeling because there are no crowds of people. There is no, all restaurants are closed and all the sightseeing are closed. Museums are closed. You're not allowed to go there, and you just have all the takeaways. You walk around. From the other perspective, it's quite good because it's actually very clean, very nice air. You can go wherever you like. Nobody will step on your feet. You know, it's like it's a mixture, mix of the feelings, really.
yeah, I can guess. Yeah, but still, it's very like probably unusual, yes, to see empty streets. Yes, like no
Yeah,
tourists at all.
really weird times. Really weird
Yeah,
times.
because I remember all these queues, like to the London Eye, or well, just to see some museums. Yeah, so
Yeah.
yeah, lots of people were there. Okay, and well, you've mentioned that you went to the Great London, to the city center, as far as I could understand. Yes, well, London is very different. Yes, like the neighborhoods, I guess, are very different. So are they all like so beautiful, or there are some better ones, some worse ones? What is your opinion about that?
Again, I will maybe comparing London to St. Petersburg
Hmm.
because it's really two the most beautiful cities in the world. Actually, I think St. Petersburg is the greatest one
Oh
in
well.
terms of things. Yeah, I truly believe so. But London is great as well. But yeah, it's very spread around. So in a radius of 10 miles, you will never understand. Well, you still in London or you're not in London. Yeah. So I mean, it's very big village. Yeah. Apart
Hmm.
from the center. So you know this great big station, Victoria.
Yep.
So if you get your train to Victoria and then you can walk around the whole London, to see all the sightseeing, starting from the Buckingham Palace, get to Trafalgar Square. From Trafalgar Square, you can get to the Chinatown. From Chinatown, you get to the Covent Garden. From Covent Garden, you go down to the Embankment. From Embankment, you get to the Tower Bridge. I mean, it's literally you can spend the whole day walking around. The same with St. Petersburg. Yeah, so if you get to the
Yeah, very nice.
Moscow station in St. Petersburg, you can go down the Nevsky Prospect and walk around the center. So yeah, all of those things are just people use sometimes bicycles to
Hmm.
ride around because it's still huge. Yeah, so you have to spend a lot of times and. When the museums are open, basically you can spend the whole days in all those museums. So obviously, if you want to see all the beauties in all the areas of London, you have to spend a couple of weeks. That's for sure. Just
Wow.
to enjoy and to feel different districts, because you can go, for example, to Camden Town, yeah, and it's different district of London, and it's the I don't know the most underground area you can visit, yeah. So there is like a Camden Town market, which is called Stables. It's an unbelievable experience of seeing and going to different manufacturers of different I don't know food,
Hmm.
clothes, I don't know, lots of stuff you can do there. Then you can visit different type of different side of the city, like say, I don't know, you're going to Canary Wharf or something like that. It's a business district, but you can see a lot of other sightseeings over there as well. So it's really, really, if you want to go to London and you want to really take the most of it, you have to make a plan.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You have
I
to have
quite
a
agree with you.
notebook and put all those details where you want to go.
Could you name like maybe some spots, some sites, some places of interest that a tourist like must visit? Yes, must see places.
I believe, I mean, due to the fact that the museums, most of the museums in the center are free of charge. Yeah, so you'd rather go to V&A, Science Museum, Natural History Museum is just something that definitely you have to visit. Trafalgar Square, you can get National Gallery, Portrait Gallery. All of those galleries are amazing, but there are also some things that are hidden, like hidden gems, you know, in London. Once we came across, my wife found the Wallesley collection. It's in the middle, and it's very tiny. It's a private collection of the private, very rich guy who was collecting all these weapons, you know, paintings, and it's really, really is the full building of all those items. And it's unbelievable how much that guy has collected, and it's now free of charge. You can come and watch. There was amazing experience. But for people who, for example, if you have driving license, you can hire a car. For us as the British citizens, we've been to London quite a lot of times, so we're always searching trying to explore different towns, cities like Bath, like Cambridge, Oxford. All those little towns have their own, you know, history and university,
of course, yes.
different culture. So we usually take a car, drive a couple of hours away, and try to spend 1 or 2 days in a different town, which again gives you different perspective for about how people live. Yeah, what's the culture, how they, because London is multicultural, and it's like Moscow, St. Petersburg. It doesn't show the whole picture of what the nation, what the people of England are, and what their culture. And it's very interesting to explore, because due to the way how due to my business, yeah, I have to travel all around England. We went to the north, to the south. We haven't got to the Scotland or Wales yet, but that's in the plans, because it's a huge island, and all the borders are open, so you can travel whatever you like. And London is great for the tourists, but if you want to really dig into the culture, you have to go outside London, I believe.
I remember when we were talking and getting ready for this interview, yes. So you mentioned that when you go outside the city to all these villages, and you can find some like fortresses and castles, and really like the offsprings of some nobility still live there.
Exactly. And then one of them is the Arundel Castle. It's actually not far from here, or Heather Castle. They are very all around. Basically, it comes from the history. Yeah, UK in the medieval eras was a broken down country with the different kingdoms, and there were certain kings in any castle. So, and then those castles still exist. Some of them are not really well maintained. Some of them are still alive. And yes, like for example, Arundel Castle, there's still one of the ancestors of the royal family are still living there. And it's an amazing, beautiful place. And I even have photos. It's just, it's like when we were walking down the park with my wife, and there was like seeing all these huge walls. And can you imagine all these history movies where like somebody is attacking the fortress, and there's massive stairs, and they're trying to kind of conquer that thing. It's like, and looking at this, I'm like, if I was in that time, I'm not gonna do that because it's just impossible. It's just beautiful pieces of architecture. Yeah, they're really nice.
Yeah, I can imagine that. Very like fairy tale, like I would even say. Yes.
Exactly. And there's like all these small windows, and there might be the princess or the king, and
and the dragon flying above. Yes.
Exactly.
Maybe.
Exactly.
Yeah, you mentioned that you haven't traveled to Scotland yet, but
well, I've been to Scotland. I've been to Scotland. It was actually again maybe slightly ahead. We visited one of the music festivals in Glasgow, And but it was one day trip. We didn't go to. We walked around the Glasgow. It's a very small town. But yeah, most of the time we spend outside in the fields listening
I
to the
see, I
music.
see. I went to Edinburgh and I was really amazed by the city. So it is beautiful. The only thing I had trouble with is actually language because they have this, yes, very special accent. And it was, at first it's kind of hard, like just to understand what they wanted from me, especially in some stores. Yeah, so, well,
Well, I mean,
but
talking about Scottish is fine, but if we live in London, again, coming back to multicultural thing, there's a lot of Indians, Jamaica people live around, and the mixture of the accents is just unbelievable. It's like
yeah, crazy.
it's crazy and it's funny because yeah, every single time you have to develop your hearing ability to try to understand what people are saying to you and to be responsive as well. So yeah, well, but to be honest, I'm never ashamed of asking twice or three times. So
Yeah,
I'm
sure,
really
why not?
sorry.
Yeah.
I'm really sorry. I'm not an English person. Could you repeat that again? And they're very patient. They're very nice.
Yeah, one of our viewers has asked if you keep in touch with some Russian people there. Like, is there a special neighborhood for Russians in London?
Well, I mean, in our family, like a joke. So how we ever managed to get here? Because the well-known rumor, all the richest Russians live in London. Yeah, and they are. Yeah, they do live in London in the center. And we did come across a few people, and it's not really our neighborhood, but there are a lot of Ukrainians. There are a lot of
Hmm.
people from Baltic countries, Lithuania, Latvia, and they all speak Russian. And we do find some friends. To be honest, most of our friends are Ukrainian and Belarusian.
I see.
So Russian-wise, yeah, they're all very posh. I actually came across in the studio once to Pavel Pogrebняk. He is from St. Petersburg. He played for Zenit,
Yeah.
and I had a like brief chat with him. It's like, oh, what are you doing here? He was having wedding dance lessons. He was getting married with his fiance, and like, yeah, it's all good. He wasn't really happy to find out that there was a Russian guy in the center of London.
Really? He
So
wasn't?
he was like, yeah. It's like, so how is your career right now? What I do? It's like, yeah, I'm playing in Reading. Well, it seems like it was the end of his career, so he wasn't really happy.
Ah, I
So
see.
that's fine. But he had enough money to have lessons in our studio, so I think he's sorted.
Okay, just for our viewers, yes, what kind of dancing do you teach?
Ballroom and Latin, this waltz, tangos, foxtrot, samba, cha-cha, rumba, jive. Yeah, as you remember, I used to be very busy, especially
Yeah.
at the end of our times at school. I barely was at school, and I was traveling specifically to London to having the dance lessons, and this is where my connection, established with the teacher, and she,
Mm-hmm.
after all those years, just invited me to be a part of her studio, and yeah, I was happy to accept that offer, which is
Why
great.
not? Is it popular to learn how to dance in?
Well, I mean, it's something. It's really, I think, is the national character because,
Mm.
um, to be honest, I started dancing in '90s, yeah, and for us it was something unreachable, and all we used to learn dancing via videotapes.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been watching all those English masters of dance, especially ballroom. They all are English specialists and Latin American ones. So yeah, it's a tradition. I believe it's because of the monarchy, the ball, all this, routes and balls are very popular. And of course, every gentleman was meant to be able to dance. Every lady was meant to be dancing, and it's a cultural tradition for English people to be able to dance. And with the popularization on the TV, with all this Strictly Come Dancing, in Russia it is known as Dancing with the Stars.
Yes, yes. Uh-huh.
Oh my God, it's just people are crazy. I mean, they really like, yeah. And then our business grows every autumn. It starts from September. Our studios are booming with people willing to start having lessons and dance. it's just such a nice activity because people don't like to go to the gym. They like to listen to the music.
Oh, I
So it's
see.
nice for them to come to a very friendly environment when people are happy to see them, showing them a few steps or even dancing with them during the lessons. And yeah, they're very happy. I mean, all those they have even strictly events. For example, if this is a wedding or any charity event, must be a dance competition. There must be someone doing dancing. There has to be, if there is a band, there obviously has to be dancing. So
like a tradition, yeah.
exactly. So yeah, and it's very popular. Very,
Yeah,
very popular.
Helen is saying dancing is great, keeps you up to par. Yes, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I hope I'm looking good. I'm not very fat.
You are.
My dancing keeps me well built. You know, I have to keep the standards.
Yeah, and also Helen is asking, are taxes loyal enough to run a business?
Well, depending how good your business is.
So tricky question.
If it's a small business, nobody really cares. So you pay certain taxes and you're doing well. If there is certain range of turnout where you start paying about 40% of your taxes. So you have to be very clever about how much you're earning or whether you're willing to pay that much taxes and so on.
I see.
So it's all doable. It's very nice. To be honest, it's actually much. I found it much easier to establish the company here rather than in Russia. To be honest. There is no difficulties whatsoever. I mean, just to be a freelancer or self-employed, you could do whatever you like. And many people do this because they don't really like to sit on the payroll. They don't want to wait for the wages. They want to be in control of their own lives. And
the income,
they just want to have enough time for all these, nice things like sports, hobbies, and they like to travel. So yeah, it's a very nice atmosphere here. But of course, you have to pay money.
Yeah, I remember you mentioned that you actually taught some celebs. Yes, some celebrities came into your studio and you had to teach them.
Yeah. I was lucky because I was in the center. It is situated in Chelsea Harbour, and it was very well established studio because the owner of the studio, Karen Hardy, she won the Strictly one of the years previously. So yeah, there was a lot of management and a lot of advertising and all this, and the prices were very, very high. So only people with a certain income could afford this. And yes, I mean, I've mentioned Pogrебняk. For me, he was a celebrity because I knew that he was playing for Zenit, and so that was the one. And some legends. Oh, actually, yeah, maybe a couple of years ago, you've heard about maybe the marriage of Ellie Goulding. You know this.
Yep.
Love Me Like You Do. So she was in our studio doing the wedding dance with her fiance and before the marriage. So I saw her and she was trying to be incognito. She didn't want to be mentioned.
But still, yes.
Yeah, I mean, there are many things. I mean, there is a lot of celebrities, English celebrities that people don't know. It's like football players, cricket players, I don't know, whatever. It's just because the London is, even though it's big, it's very small. So the percentage of celebrities living in London was quite high. So you can bump into one of them very easily. I've heard your interview with one of about Los Angeles. It's pretty much a similar situation.
Okay.
You kind of randomly, yes, Michael Caine.
Oh,
That's a legend. That's a legend. And I did pass him through. Actually just going to work, and he was just breathing some air. He was just I bet he is very old right now, and he's having difficulties in moving. And I think he was with his nurse or somebody,
I see.
the lady, and he was walking very slowly, and then he stopped, and I was just like,
I know you.
It's Michael Caine. It's Sir Michael Caine. It's unbelievable. Yeah. So yeah, this is an example of bumping into the streets on someone very, very famous.
Yeah, you mentioned football. So there was another question from our viewers, like, do you watch football? Are you a fan of football? And if yes, so like, who are you cheering for? Chelsea, Tottenham, Arsenal? So, or Zenit?
Okay, I will disappoint you as that I'm not really that much into football,
I see.
but I did manage to be in Manchester United even at Whites, and I watched their game. And I also been to actually last year to Crystal Palace Stadium, cheering for Crystal Palace because I live in South Croydon and it's quite close to Crystal Palace station. Yeah,
Mhm.
and all these areas have their own teams. And if you are following the Premier League, you can know that there are like 20 teams, and
Yeah.
all are very good. And I did manage to get to all those stadiums, and personally, Manchester United was the most amazing experience because it's a huge stadium. Obviously, it is like it's somewhere in the center, so there are more money. So Manchester United is more wealthier club rather than Crystal Palace.
Hmm.
And it's just an amazing experience. And those legends about the fans and how they're supporting their teams, it's all true. It's all true. It's so funny. They're singing their song. I believe even in Russia, if you're visiting stadiums, it's unbelievable experience.
Yeah, it is.
And they are all allowed to drink beer there. They are, oh my God, it's just, you have to be there just to have that
Just to
experience.
feel this atmosphere, you have to be
Yeah.
part of it.
Especially not in the sense about it to Crystal Palace one. I mean, the stadium wasn't that good. It was like a box of bricks, and it's very small. But the way how the general people support their team is just unbelievable.
Yeah, I
And
can imagine.
after that, when after the game is over, all those fans are coming back and they're still singing their songs. And if they see the fans of the other team, they're trying to shout into each other. It's all very friendly, yeah. So
Hmm.
and they're very polite, and there will be never a fight, but there will be a verbal exchange of different shouts and jokes, and yeah, it's unbelievable. It's really cool. It's really
But
cool.
all in all, are people like sporty in London? So do they like sports besides dancing, besides cheering for
Hmm.
their favorite teams? Yes, I mean football teams. Like, do they really go and like do some sports?
Definitely, it's a really important part of English life. If you don't do sports, there's something wrong with you. Yeah, I mean, they like to have fun in the pubs. They like their beer, but they also like their sports. So yeah, I mean, all these traditional type of sports: football, cricket, rugby, tennis. Tennis is very big,
Hmm.
especially in the Wimbledon. I mean, Wimbledon is just maybe 2 miles away from me. What else? Golf, racehorsing, everything. I mean, and in a real life, from day to day, they do go to the gyms, but they do jogging a lot. They do
Hmm.
run all around, especially in the lockdown. Oh my God, I haven't seen so many people running. I haven't seen. And the cycling. Cycling
Very
is very
popular.
big. It's very big. They all this with their outfits, very special bikes. They have all these signs because they are riding the bike on the roads, so they are
Hmm.
part of the traffic,
Oh, I
and there are
see.
special lines for them, so they can't ride on a pavement. They must ride on a normal road, and it's actually literally a pain for the drivers,
I
but
can
everybody
imagine.
is
Yeah.
there is certain areas where they can stop. They have to be in front, and yeah, cycling is very big as well.
So you don't have like cycling roads, special cycling roads, like
No,
cycling
no, no,
paths?
they can
No. No.
cycle wherever they like as long as it's not on the pavement.
Oh, I
So they
see.
can cycle any roads. Actually, a friend of mine, he's from Ukraine. He during these two lockdown, he bought his bike, and now he does the 100 miles marathons and so on. So
Wow.
it's huge. Yeah,
Impressive. Yeah.
exactly. I mean, yeah, and I'm just fascinated by him. How you do that? I mean, I'm running. I like to run, so I can do like 15 miles or 20 miles. It's not that much, but that's enough for me.
Oh, it's a lot for
Uh,
me.
yeah,
I'm not a runner at all.
but he is riding a bike, and it's like, oh my God. So basically, he lives 2 hours away driving from me.
Uh-huh.
And there was Valerie had a birthday, and he really literally took his
Rode
bike,
his bike. Yeah.
rode his bike. 5 hours he was here.
Oh my goodness. And can you imagine, he had to go back too. Yeah, so another
Yeah,
5 hours.
yes, hangover next day. He said that was bad. But then,
Hopefully you kept him for another day just to
yeah, but the week after he did his marathon, and out of 100 people, he came 8th. So that's a big
Wow.
achievement for the person who started doing it less than a half a year. It's amazing.
That is amazing. Half a year. Wow. Okay, that's really impressive. Well,
Exactly.
okay. And well, you mentioned the pubs, actually, yes. And well, I guess it's a huge part of English, like
Okay.
I would say, tradition, life. Yes. So to go to the pubs, as far as I know, people go there, hang out with their friends, not at homes, yes, but in the pubs. And now in the like in the times of this lockdown, yes, it should be kind of hard, yes, to stay at home, not have this like opportunity to go. So how is it going now?
I mean, at the moment they're all locked, they're all closed. They can't be opened for a month. But yeah, I mean, the name pub is a public place. Yeah.
Yeah.
So historically, the pubs were like a living room in the small hotels. Yeah. So on the ground floor is the pub, and on the first and the second floor it used to be rooms for people who are traveling. And then there are two versions of pubs. There are like established pubs who are related to the breweries, to the breweries, and they just selling their beer there. Or there are free houses. They're called free house. So it's a pub, but it's independent pub. Usually it's maybe a restaurant, or maybe it's a private brewery that really tries to sell its a beer through the pub. And the free houses are always are much nicer pubs, because they have certain chef, they serve special food, very tasty food with different drinks as well. And but the general pubs is a very small places where people gather up to have a pint after work. This is like 5 o'clock, all the white collars gone from work. It's a pub time.
So no tea, just beer.
No, it's a pint. It's a pint time. Everybody's having a
My time,
pint.
yeah.
Do you want to have a pint? Yeah, sure. Why not? It's like tea is actually a supper. It's the difference. Yeah. So dinner is the lunch, and tea is supper. But before tea, there is a bite.
I see.
There's a
Okay.
pint or two. And again, when it's Friday or Wednesday, they have this Premier League football matches. I mean, people gathering in the pubs, cheering and shouting and entertaining themselves.
Some years ago, I went to Darlington, and well, I had a like pub tour. Yeah, so we were living with an English guy. He was hosting us, and he said, "Okay, now I'm taking you on the pub tour," and we like visited about 5 or 6 places during the evening, and they were all so different. So you could dance in one pub, you could just sit and play chess in the other one, you could just see like lots of people talking in the third one, and they were all so different, but they were all very nice, and I enjoyed like being at every place we went to. So
yeah, it's a part of a culture. And some youngsters, in London you can pay for the bicycle, and then you can also ride a bike around, and youngsters having their pub tours on the bicycles, so they travel around and they stay in the pub for having to have one pint or two. And by the time they hardly can,
ride their bike.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, and the amazing thing was also that we had to just leave our coats in the car, and we were just walking between these pubs without any coats, just not to hang them anywhere, not to forget them anywhere. So, and well, that was quite an experience too.
Well, in the villages, like where I live, people, I mean, it's usually a Sunday roast time. It's called Sunday roast. They serve certain traditional food, which is it's either beef or chicken, or with roasted vegetables, and Yorkshire pudding. So this is their Sunday roast, and people usually wake up, have a tea, breakfast, and they, especially if they have dogs, they walk into the woods and have a nice walk, and then they're booking the space in a pub, and when you are getting at that particular time, you can see all those people with different breeds of different beautiful dogs there, and it's very, very, it's like living in a village. It's very nice atmosphere. Everybody's having a good conversation, meeting their friends, and it's nice.
It is nice. You mentioned my favorite topic though, food.
Good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, I really enjoy talking about different, well, cuisines, yes, when talking to different people from different countries, and just to find out about some maybe traditional dishes, traditional drinks, yeah, something not so like usual for us here, yeah. So what could you mention?
In terms of food, it's just because we live in London. It's because of its multicultural, multinational city. You can have any type of food here. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. You can have French cuisine, English cuisine. I don't know, Spanish, Italian, whatever you like. Indian cuisine is very Chinese takeaways, everything you would like to taste. To be honest, in Russia we don't have any Indian cuisine, so it's quite specific type of
Mm-hmm.
cuisine because it's full of different flavors, and it's very interesting if you want to treat yourself with something different. Chinese takeaway is a saver if you don't have anything in the fridge. So
Mm-hmm.
nothing in the fridge. Go and take away. It's at 5 minutes and you're full. I mean, traditional English cuisine will be fish and chips,
Fish and
yeah,
chips,
and
yes.
different steak pies. Yeah, pubs favorites as they call it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I mean, for simple people, there's some. Oh, actually, they cook a lot of lamb here, so the lamb is very popular. And it's very nice with the mint sauce. It's actually a must try because it's delicious.
Yeah, I remember
Um,
nice pies. I remember nice pies
Pies,
with
yes, it's a
meat, yes.
beef in the pastry. So
Mm-hmm.
they cook it with different type of ales. It's basically you put there, you cook your beef with vegetables and just cover it in a pastry, and it's beautiful. I love it. It's the best one.
Sounds delicious, yes.
Yeah, yeah. With a good pint of beer, it's amazing.
Yeah, well, how about drinks? Any special drinks? Any traditional, like besides beer? Yes. So,
G&T, gin and tonic. This is what
mm-hmm.
we have. There's the whole culture of gins. They have certain manufacturers to have different types of gins, and there are people who prefer to drink only gin. Um, yeah, different ales, stouts, lagers, IPAs. This is just what this nation is about. Wine, because they live very close to France and
Mm-hmm.
Europe, a lot of Spanish, Italians, and French wines. So we went to France a couple of times, and we actually got the whole bags of different type of wine because it's in France. It's cheaper and it's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
So and again, to wine there is a cheese. So in England they have before arriving to London, I couldn't understand how for dessert you can have a cheese board, but it's just a very nice thing. So instead of having creme brulee or ice cream, I prefer to have a cheese board. So which is
Oh, cheese is amazing. I love
yeah,
cheese.
yeah. This
Yeah.
is different Stilton, cheddar, vintage cheddar, all of those types of French cheeses as well, camembert. Um, yeah,
So, yeah.
anything
So,
you like to blow your mind with different flavors. Actually, quite interesting is Caribbean food here. It's called jerk food.
uh-huh.
It's basically the fried chicken, but with the certain spices that they do in
Mm-hmm.
Caribbeans. So it does make a different flavor to that, which is very nice.
I see. Sergey is asking, is it true that usual breakfast in England is quite a heavy dish, like eggs, sausage, tomatoes, beans, etc.? Or they eat something easier, like, for example, cornflakes with milk or tea with sweets?
I mean, nowadays people choose whatever they like to eat. I mean, it's called traditional English breakfast because of, well, the typical workers who went to work for the whole day in a mine or something like that. Their wives used to cook all of this traditional food because they had no chance to eat anymore. So they had to be very substantial meal. And it, yeah,
Just to keep them going, yes, throughout the day.
Exactly, yeah. And then they come back for the steak pie with a pint. But yes, different type of cereals. I don't know. I can talk only about myself. I mean, but to any hotel you go, you would be offered to have an English breakfast. That's for sure. It is actually included into your rates of the room. So usually already prepaid for. And sometimes hotels don't cook it really well. I prefer to do it ourselves. So, I mean, you can choose the bacon and eggs and sausages you like, then you can cook it.
Yeah, toast with jam, I remember. Yeah, very nicely.
Yeah. I'm not a fan of it, but yeah. Actually, Valerie, my wife, she really loves the scones. The scones, like, I don't know how to call it, as a pastry. And usually they take it with tea, and they put some jam on it or whatever. It's very nice.
Can it have something inside, like the rascones, like with some?
They usually cook them with raisins or just the plain ones. But the point is, like, they're heated, and then you just basically cut it and put whatever you like, stuff you like.
Sounds
nice.
It's
actually in many restaurants they serve these tea offers, so evening tea. So you go there, they have different choices of tea, and they have the whole stack of sandwiches on your choice, plus the scones, and you can spend a couple of hours sitting, drinking tea and having those sandwiches. By the way, do you know what the BLT is?
B what?
BLT.
What is that?
It's bacon, lettuce, tomato sandwich. This is the name of the sandwich. Very popular.
So just a special sandwich, yes, popular one.
There was also a Plowman sandwich, which is a cheddar with the pickles.
Okay, sounds good. Sounds yummy.
Is a pickled onion or pickled
cucumbers? No.
Cucumbers, yeah, but usually it's onion. They cook it some way very specifically. It's with it's just nice and tasty with the cheddar. I don't remember.
I'm feeling hungry now, you know.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Well, after our conversation, I'm definitely having my dinner. Well, yeah, and talking about all these like traditions, people getting together, yes, hanging around in the pubs, yes. So, are English people friendly? I mean, like we have spoken with Kate. She lives now in Canada. We have spoken with Dan, he lives in the United States. So, and the situation in America and in Canada is different. Yeah. So, is it easy to warm up to to people, to become friends with people? I mean, English people.
If you have a smile on your face, it's very easy. If you're grumpy, obviously people will try to walk past you. English are very well known for their, warm welcoming of everybody who's coming. They're very open. They're killing you with their, politeness. And but it doesn't mean that actually they are willing to be a friend of yours. It's just a nice way of greeting people. Yeah. But to be a friend, you have to have a long-term relationship with them. Minimum 5 years to make sure.
Oh wow, that's a long time actually. Yes.
I mean, you just have to prove that you're a decent person. You're a decent member of the community. That you have no skeletons behind your back. So I think it's a very pragmatic way of relationship between people, and I think it's a good way to do it.
Yeah, but you're building like a long-term relationship. Yeah, so friends, yes, should be friends, yes, in need and indeed, yes.
You don't really call people friends if they don't know them for a long time. It actually takes a lot of time to to make them call you a friend.
Okay.
You can
How about
say,
workspace? Like when you come to work, yes, you communicate with people, you interact with them all the time. So probably it is easier to become friends while you're working. No?
between people, members of staff, I mean.
Yeah.
Well, to be honest, I was working in the company that really on 80% was consisted of the migrants. There were like a couple of two English people, and they actually, yeah, was a bit different.
I
At a
see.
certain stage, it was like a 90% of migrants. Yeah, but have to say, I don't know, people are different, and those particular ones I wasn't really fond of.
Really?
No. Maybe because they were managers and they were trying to, rule me or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
So I
So
wasn't really happy to deal with them.
show their power, yeah, kind of.
Well, the power is just the real life. People are people. They have to, let's say, they have to meet the targets, and they have to make you to make the target happen. And sometimes I didn't want it. So, and there was a certain reason or maybe I couldn't do it, but they have to make you do it. So there was certain, arguing and quarreling took place for sure.
I see. But all in all, like, do you think that, well, English people are open, friendly, and like?
Of course they are.
Very...
It's of course they are. They are. It's always about first impression. Yeah. So with everybody you talk to, you say, he's a nice lad. Oh, they're nice people, very nice people. But then whether you will continue seeing them later on, you never know.
You never know.
The first impression is very nice all the time, and it's again very good politics. It's very good. I like it.
Yeah, they know how to behave, yes, and like what to say.
One of my
when to
teachers,
say.
one of my teachers said, because we're always meeting for the lessons, and I always say, "How are you doing?" It's like, perfect, couldn't be better, blah blah blah. Because then he was his philosophy. If I tell you I have this and this and this problem, that wouldn't be a good start of our conversation, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Like, well, yeah, there's a truth behind that. That's for sure.
That's for sure, because like when we teach our students here, yes, and well, they sometimes ask like, why do you have to say all the time like, I'm fine, thank you, or something like that? Yes, couldn't be better, whatever. Yeah. So you have to explain that if you start like talking about all your problems, yes, about all the stuff that's going on in your life, yes, so you can just tire the person and he or she will just run away, yes, hoping never to speak to you again.
But again, it's also because you're the teacher, you're doing your job, and the students, they come for a lesson. It's a little bit different relationship, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but still have to explain like how they have to react to such questions like, how are you, yes, doing, how are you, how's it going, yes, in a real life, yes, in an everyday life, when they just meet somebody from Britain or from America, from Canada or from Australia, yes, so how to say and why to say that, all this thing.
But it's interesting to mention that Americans are actually always having a laugh at Brits, because Americans find them very cold.
Oh.
Yeah, it's like, they're very closed, they're not very open, because Americans are, I mean, literally the whole world outside in front of you, they're like, hey, Jude, how are you? Well, glad to see you. I mean, even the way how your friend used to talk to you, his manners were very Americans, and I can recognize it because I travel, I mean, every year I travel to America, to New York, and Americans are a completely different nation. But again, the rule is your first impression. I mean, if the person hasn't done anything bad to you, why should you be an asshole? Oh, sorry. Why would you be bad to him? I mean, as long as you can deal for 5 minutes of your life with this particular person in a nice way, nothing going to happen to you bad.
For sure, yeah. So
whereas Russians are completely different. Hey, hello, because when I used to come to London, there's like, oh, this crazy Russian, oh, he's very grumpy, and it took me a while to get adjusted and to be friendly to people, because I was I was a little bit in a different state of mind and mood.
Oh, well, I can say that there are different people in every nation. So you come to any country and you can find some grumpy people and you can find some smiley people. Yeah, so it seems to me I'm smiling all the time. So I should smile less, maybe.
English person. Welcome.
Yeah, well, when also I was just persuading you and asking you to participate in our project, yes, uh, I was hoping that you could probably enlighten us about some peculiarities of the language of maybe of the neighborhood you live in. So some probably some names for some places or dishes or something else. Yes, that is called differently and could be nice to learn.
Well, again, it's going to be a little bit difficult for me. But just in general, for example, when the guy's greeting another guy, they can say, or talk about the guy, they, hello, mate, you know, hello. When they're talking like, oh, he's a good lad, there's something like that you never see or mention in a day-to-day basis life. Or bro or bruv, you know, it's a bit very northern accent or northern way of talking to people. Girls say, hi hon, how are you? Or hi love.
Love, yes.
Why am I love? I mean, I don't know, it's a bit weird. It's just the way how they address to other person in every day-to-day basis. Well, in terms of again, it just first comes into my mind. This is the pound, yeah, and they call it quid sometimes. So I said I went to the shop and spent 27 quid.
Quid. Like, how do you spell it? Quid.
Quid, I think something like that. Yeah, quid. For example, if you even throw, or you know, when you're choosing the turn to go, like you throw. It goes heads and tails. Head or tails?
Head and tails, yes.
Yeah, so something like that. I mean, lots of different names of different dishes. I remember I told you like bang.
Yes, about the sandwich.
Bang is a mash.
Yeah.
The mashed potato. Bangers is the sausages. If you don't know this, it's just going to be like weird for the first time. It's just something from the top of my head, but really, maybe for me it will be already something that I got used to that, and I don't think about this as a slang or anything like that. But yeah, really, that's it for now. Really, if something comes on my mind, I will let you know.
Okay, yes, so you can just proceed commenting under the video, yes, or tell me, yes, and I will tell the students and our viewers too. Yeah.
I mean, there's also interesting, to be honest, differences between American language and English language. There's a lot of different topics, even on YouTube. And actually, I had this experience that I did a mistake, you know, the chips and
the crisps, the chips.
And crisps and the chips, yeah, because we went to LA 2 years ago, and I was ordering in the restaurant, and chips in England is chips, so they obviously bring you the fries. And in America, just like, yeah, can I have like portion of wings and the chips? And they're bringing me like crisps. It's like, oh, I'm really unfortunate. You brought it to me. It's like, oh, I'm really sorry. Could you just change my order because this is not what I wanted? That's interesting.
Yeah, the same with like cookies, yes, and like biscuits, yeah. Yeah.
Americans, the trousers, here it's underwear.
Well, the differences in language, yeah. Well, but it's good to know about these differences, yes, especially for a person who travels a lot, yes.
But I mean, even if you don't know that much about all the differences, all the people are they understand and they respect that you are using a different language. So they always come back to you with the right answer, and maybe they will help you even to construct the sentence somehow.
Yeah, and probably it is even like very pleasant for a person to feel like that he or she can help, yes, and just be a part of something, yes, like to help to learn, yes, something new.
But the thing is, the English is international language, and they understand that not many people know this. Actually, I have to say that France, the French people are terrible. I mean, we went to France and we were trying to address to them in English. Oh my, they were ignoring us.
French people like when the others speak French, yes.
Exactly. It's terrible. No, no, no. It's very bad and disrespectful, I think. But I mean, this is their right. I think they think that they're the
This
kings
is
of
their
the world.
country, yeah, well.
English are different in this sense.
Yeah, I see, yeah, and I agree. Well, and just to sum it all up, yes, well, as far as I could understand, your life in London seems really nice. Yes. Well, just to not to take into account this lockdown period. Yes, but all in all, yes.
In
So
reality, I'm sitting without trousers on the station, using public WhatsApp. It's okay. It's okay.
well, and hopefully it will be even better. Yes.
Yeah, in 7 years' time, that's for sure. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, it's not. It's good, but it's not that different from the life in Russia every day. You still have to go to your work. You have to pay taxes. You still have to pay rent. You still have your kids. They go into school or to kindergarten. It's everyday life. So there are some other opportunities that you can use, and maybe the weather is different, but you can face all the same difficulties in any type of the world or
For
any
sure.
the world. So it's not all flowers, I don't know, or I don't know, a party, but it's all good.
Well, yes, in any country you have to work, you have to run your errands, yes, and well, do whatever it takes, yes, to have a nice life. The life that you want for yourself and your family, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we are all doing our best, I guess.
And I wish the good luck to everybody who's listening to this conversation.
Yeah.
Good luck to them. And if you, I just think, I mean, to me, being in London, this, I mean, finding myself in London is a real surprise because I never planned it. I never wished it. It's just happened. And once it happened, I think, okay, I'm going to work hard to make sure that I can stay here for a long time. So, and if you really wish to do it, it's going to happen. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, our dreams may come true, or just some kind of accident can happen. Well, not accident, incident, yes, or and you find yourself somewhere, and you just take everything you can out of this situation and like make it work for you, right? Yes, that's the right attitude, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Kirill, very much for being with us today. Yeah, so thanks for our viewers to ask for asking questions. Yes, and hopefully everyone enjoyed the conversation.
Well, there's so many things to discuss. There are so many differences. There are so many. I mean, a lot of topics to talk about. And
Yeah,
just
there are.
maybe a brief conversation. So if you would like to do something in the future, more specifically, I will be happy to assist.
We will be happy to have you, yes, and to proceed, yes, our well, series of conversations. Yes, that would be really nice. Yeah.
Great.
Thank you for your time. So enjoy the rest of your day. Yes.
Well,
hopefully.
I'm free for the 2nd of December. So thank you very much for your time.
Okay, so and well, when the borders are open, well, hopefully we'll see you here too and speak in person. Oh, we'll come to London.
Get in touch. Get in touch.
Yes, yes. Thank you. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye-bye. So, well, thank you very much. Yes. We are, I'm back here alone. Yeah, guys, thank you for being with us today. Thanks for your comments. Thanks for your questions. I was happy to be here. I really liked the conversation. I was happy to see my classmate. Yeah, so hopefully we'll have more of these conversations, and that's a good idea. Probably we'll pick some particular topics for next conversations. Maybe we'll talk about the language itself. Maybe we'll talk about food and get really like dive into the food stuff. Yes, and well, there are tons of things to discuss. And if you type some comments and tell us what you want to hear, yes, what you want to know, yes, we'll be more than happy to provide this information to you. So thank you, Sergey. Yes, so it was nice seeing you here. Yeah, and thank you for your questions and comments. So I will see you hopefully next week, next Wednesday. So stay tuned. We'll tell you who our next guest will be. So have a nice evening. Bye bye, guys.